Welcome your host, Caddy Frink, as she leads discussions about substance use disorder and the journey to recovery. You're listening to Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution.
Well, good day, good day, good day. Here we are on a lovely, lovely day in the Twin Cities area. My name is Caddy Frink. I am your host for Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution. I'm sitting across the table from a lovely human. Her name is Lorraine Lynch. Say hello to the people, Lorraine.
Hello.
Hello, there she is. I want to be grateful today that I get to have a lovely new human sitting across from me. And also, I did not bring my script of thank yous, but I'm going to go off the cuff here, folks. I want to say special thank you, first of all, to our volunteers at Minnesota Recovery Connection. Anybody who donates to our organization, because we can always use that as a nonprofit organization. We are always looking for a little extra shickles, aren't we, Lorraine?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are, she says. So Amy Butler Foundation, Hardenberg Foundation. That's about all I can pull out. I am so sorry. I forgot my cheat sheet, folks. But there's organizations that have donated to us on a regular basis, grants that we've gotten, because we can't do any work without grants, can we, Lorraine?
That's right.
Yes. So Lorraine is working on a very specific program that I'll have her talk about. But first and foremost, Lorraine, what is right with you today?
Everything.
See, y'all, just so you know, this is a lady who runs around the world with grace and happiness all the time. Give me one thing that made you happy about today.
What really makes me happy is when I wake up with my journal called Ladies.
What is that?
That is a call that I do in the mornings. We be on a Zoom where we'll read from it's a 100-page prayer and journal book for women, and we read from that, and then we just talk about how it has influenced our lives.
Journal book. Say more. What kind of
a journal book? We normally order them off Amazon.
Okay.
And you can get it where it'll give you a scripture, and then it'll give you a little passage, and then you just write about things that help you, like a prayer request or a journey that you've been on.
Okay.
Reflect on your life.
Okay, so it's a faith-based journal that gives you sort of like a topic. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
A topic, and then you talk.
Yep.
How very cool. How many women are involved in that?
9 so far.
9. Okay. Now you ask me what's right with me.
And what's right with you?
See, we're going about this just real impromptu because Lorraine has not done this before. So, and I forget too. So it's all just fine. Let's see what's right with me today. Let's see. Last night, I was out with a really good friend. Her name is Anissa. And Anissa is a woman who, she's a teacher. She's at Roosevelt High School. She's like a marvelous human. I've known her since her journey in recovery. She came walking into my AA group. I don't know. I think it's like 15, 16 years ago now. And African-American and Latino individual. And so we had a great conversation getting caught up again because it's been a while. And then we also talked about the current events that are going on in the Twin Cities. And I had to recognize something in myself, Lorraine. And that is, I said, oh, okay, let's go to this place and have something to eat. And they weren't open. So we went to another alternative restaurant. And I said, can you meet me there at 6:00? And she's like, sure. She goes, is there any way that you could come and pick me up? And I said, well, it's really just kind of down the road from where I am. And she said, okay, I'll just say an extra prayer when I get in the car, because she's a person with brown skin.
Mm-hmm.
And she was concerned that she's going to a different part of the town. And when I saw her, I said, I would really want to acknowledge the fact that I did not think about that.
Right.
I have my white privilege that I'm very well aware of. But sometimes I don't recognize what somebody else, because I see Anissa as Anissa. I don't see Anissa as a person. I see you as a person of color, but I don't. It's like I don't put the two together.
Like that, right?
I don't put the two together in the circumstance that we're in right now. And she said, I'll say an extra prayer for you. And I said, so will I. And last night when we were like out for like 3 hours, it was fabulous. We just talked about everything. But I walked her to her car. She said, can you walk me to my car? I just want to make sure I get there. And I said, absolutely. I hooked my arm in her arm and we're just walking to the car. And I realized that in that moment that there's something else going on. And so I'm so grateful that we got together. I'm so grateful we had a great conversation. She's going to possibly move out of the United States, and I was like so excited to hear about all that. So I'm grateful for friendships. That's what ultimately what it comes down to. So we're just so darn grateful this morning. See, I love this woman's laugh, because when she laughs, it's so authentic. It's so authentic. So Lorraine, what do you do at Minnesota Recovery Connection? What's your current sort of like, and you kind of come in many different versions. So what's the current version?
I am a certified peer recovery specialist, and I work with women with CPS cases. But
what is CPS to our listening audience?
It's child protective services.
Okay, great.
And I work with women. Well, I'm open to help anyone though, but right now that's one of the hats that I carry. But I also do project coordinating, where I invite other organizations to come to MRC to talk about what they do and develop a partnership where we can help people on an overall basis, cover every avenue that we can. And I just love it.
Yeah. Well, I think what's really great is that in the time that you've been doing that outreach, bringing those resources to Minnesota Recovery Connection, I've just learned so much. So I so appreciate it. And I think the staff has gotten larger. And, you know, it's interesting. We kind of have our go-tos. Theoretically, I have my own go-tos, but everybody has their own go-tos. But when we get this new resource, I remember when the Jewish Community Center in St. Paul came in, somebody was having something with somebody somewhere, and I'm like, hey, remember blah 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 blah, and they're like, oh yeah, we got to call them. And I'm like, that's what Lorraine does. She brings organizations, and we just had a really great mental health one come in too recently. And so I think, you know, one of the things I want to pull out of that is that there are so many resources out there, aren't there? There really are. And I think people think there's only treatment, or there's only hospitals, or there's only AA meetings or NA meetings for people who are struggling with substance use disorder. Because my whole goal, as I was saying before we started the show, is to enlighten people who are out in the community, who love people who are struggling, that there is a place and a space for people to go, or to get a resource, or talk to somebody, because that's really what it is.
It is.
In the last couple of minutes, will you just talk, just give me a little snapshot, give our listeners a little snapshot of when you're talking to a woman or man, for that matter, who is struggling with their children family services. Like, what's one of the main topics that comes up? I'm straddling your brain right now, I can tell.
Well, basically what I do is I just get to know them and get to know their situation. And then I just offer, because when back in the days, years ago, I was involved with child protection services. And one thing I tell them, if they give you a list to do, all you got to do is do it. Because it's really just an observation that they're doing. They're observing you to make sure that you're doing everything. You got all your ducks in a row. I said, so the main thing is, when they give you something to do, just do it. I'm there for moral support for them, to let them know that you can get past this. This is just a stepping stone to where you need to go.
Yeah. And you know what's so interesting when you say that is the people that are struggling, when they get the list, I think it becomes very overwhelming, right?
Yep.
And I think that's what we've trained people to do, is one thing on the list at a time.
Yep.
But do the things on the list. That's where I think the magic is that if people stick to it, they can, listen to me. If they stick to it, they can get through it. Just came up with a new one there, folks. But I think that is like the battle of recovery, isn't it? Just staying focused. And not letting those thoughts come in again, or those temptations. You know, I'd imagine. Go ahead.
I have a participant. She had a lot of stuff on her plate. She says, I don't know how I could do it. I said, first of all, just calm down.
There you go.
Calm down. Because if you do one thing, get that done, then do another thing. And the next thing you know, she said, you know what? I got everything on the list. I said, that's all you got to do.
Nice. Yeah, I think what you just said, and I think a lot of people in their recovery journey, or in trying to help somebody, is just like everybody take a deep breath
Mhm.
because it's all so overwhelming.
It is.
So we're about ready to take our first break. I want to thank everybody for listening to Redefining Recovery, Recovery Revolution here on AM 950, the progressive radio station with Lorraine Lynch. Say goodbye and then hello to the other people when we come on the other side.
Goodbye.
There you go. So we'll be back. Thank you.
No home. And there's one thing that I've learned through this year of being alone. I can feel it.
Love having some of that intro music just kind of play there and just sit there. Welcome back to Redefining Recovery, Recovery Revolution. My name is Katty Frink with Lorraine Lynch. Say hello to the people.
Hello, everyone.
There you go. See, we're all warmed up. We went through that little first part. We had to get all warmed up here. So I bring on a guest because what I think is important is that people who are listening to this are going to benefit when they hear all these incredible diverse stories of how people found their recovery. And you and I have talked in the past, and I learned just minutes ago about what your journey was into recovery. And so I'm going to have Lorraine start talking about where substance use came into play. What was that look like? You said that you had Children and Family Services come in at some point, and then you found your way to recovery. So start telling your story, and I'm going to pepper you with questions all along there. So just get ready, okay, my friend?
Yes. Well, my journey started at 16. That's when 15, I was introduced to drugs. 16, I had my first child.
Tell me what drugs you were introduced to at age 15.
Crack cocaine.
Crack cocaine.
And marijuana, but I couldn't handle that.
I couldn't either back in the day. Yay. Man, that made me so paranoid. I couldn't find my way to the floor.
I couldn't do it. And then drinking.
And drinking and alcohol. Okay. Okay. Keep on doing.
And so years of that, I think it was like maybe 8-10 years of it to when I really started getting tired of it, but I didn't quit yet though.
Okay, let me go back. So at 15, you sort of started your journey. 16, you had your first child. Okay, so you were using chemicals within that.
I stopped with my pregnancies. I'll always stop with my pregncy and then start back up.
Okay. So. Had that little, you couldn't quite give it up, but we give it up for the kiddos.
That's right. I know a lot of people, how you? I said, hey, for the baby, I'm going to quit, but you wait for the baby to drop. So.
I love that. Drop, go. Okay, keep on going. My apologies.
Okay. And then, no, you're fine. And I think it was like another 10 or 15 years when I finally got tired. Me and my husband, that's what marriage came in place in there too. And
how old were you when you got married, give or take?
Probably 40. Yeah, about 40.
Okay, so did you have children with the same gentleman that you married?
Yes, I have 3 kids by the same dad.
Okay, just took a while to do that marriage thing.
Right. No, we wasn't going. This is not their father.
Oh, okay.
I didn't marry their dad.
No. Okay, no.
That was another story.
That was a whole nother story. She put her hand up in the air. If anybody's looking at the camera, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, I met my husband. We worked together at a machine shop. And then
a machine shop?
A machine shop.
Okay.
6 months, and we got married 6 months later.
You just knew it was right.
Yes, nice. I did. And we've been married. It'll be 25 years in August.
Okay.
And so 8 years of my marriage, I was still using. And it came to a point where I think I was like 42 because I'll be 62 and it's be 20 years coming up.
So give a knuckle rub here, baby, because we're the same age.
Yeah. And I just got to a point where I just got tired and I knew there had to be something else. So I tried treatment and I got out. I think I stayed sober for a few months. And because you hang around, you get out, you get around the same people, you're going to go back into the same thing. I didn't find that out till after my second treatment. Third treatment.
You kept going back because you wanted life different, right?
I did.
You wanted life different. And I say this to people when they're telling their story, and when you hear a story from somebody out in the community that they've been to treatment 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a reason why you're going back.
Right.
You want to change this substance use disorder problem, this drug, this addiction. You want to change, but it's
It got a
hard.
hold of you, and
Yeah.
you got to find what works for you.
Right.
And that's why I tell people it doesn't matter how long you've been to treatment, because you're still looking for that treatment that's going to stick and that's going to work. And my third treatment wasn't through a center.
Okay.
It was when I gave my life to the Lord and
Okay.
surrendered. That was my third treatment. He took me through the steps and everything, where you write the amends to the people that you hurt. I did that all through the Lord.
Okay, well, let me step back a little bit here. So your third treatment was you having the faith with the Lord. Now,
Mhm.
did you literally do it by yourself, just with an internal conversation, or did you do it in a group, or how did you do that?
Well, there was two ladies that lived in my building that were going to church.
Okay.
And so I wanted to something different, and I seen their life. So I wanted that life. So I started going to church with them. And as I was going to church, I surrendered my life to the Lord.
Okay. And then in that process, then within that church, then you followed this journey in
Mhm.
going through steps and utilizing that as kind of your guidepost.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's
You
step.
know, let me just say this, because I
Yes.
didn't really look at them when he was taking me through it as the steps, until I started doing the steps with the ladies that I'm doing now. I was like, oh, well, this is what the Lord, okay.
Okay, give me
So-
some more words around that. Give me some more words.
Because in the 12 steps, it takes you through your higher power and things like that,
Right.
where you make your amends to the people that you've hurt. First, you got to recollect the things that you have done, write down all the mistakes that you've made.
Right.
Well, the Lord took me through that,
Got
but
it.
I didn't realize it was the 12 steps until I started doing the 12 steps with the ladies that I work with.
Oh, so you kind of had this journey all on your own, sort of managing it yourself,
Mhm.
but then realized, and that's the thing, these 12 steps, they are so embedded in all of our society that we
Mhm.
don't even think about it. Like, I know I've used the term, I've got to make amends, or I've got to apologize.
Mhm. Yeah.
Somewhere back in the day, even before I was in recovery, I probably heard, this make amends thing.
Mhm.
It's funny how this 12 steps sort of ingratiates itself into
Mhm.
daily life.
Well, because the two have to go together. Even during the 12 steps, you still need a higher power greater than yourself. And for me, the higher power came in the name of who I know to be my savior.
Right.
And so a lot of people, that's the way you got to look at it,
Mhm.
because you got to go outside yourself in order to be able to give things up. Because we tried our own selves, and it didn't work.
No, we just didn't have the strength. That's
Mm-mm.
it's really important that you say that, because I'm not a person who does the 12 steps anymore. But oh man, I just remembered a dream I had last night about having an aha moment here. Wow. It must be a reason why we're here together,
Mm.
because there's something that went into my psyche, because I was having a dream about talking to people about not using AA, and I've got to recall it, but being around it gave me the strength to see that it's not all about me, because
Mhm.
that's the problem. We get
Right.
so locked in ourself and what we need to. And
Mhm.
so my personal journey was, the group was my support, my higher power.
Okay.
It wasn't necessarily but it was the,
Mhm.
ooh, that was good. It wasn't it was the, but it was that group of people that I surrounded myself, put around myself, that were where I gained my strength, and they saw me for who I was, not who I was
Used
in
to
the
be.
past.
Right,
Yeah, used to
right,
be.
right.
Oh, you just kind of turn on a light bulb in my head. I love having these conversations, because we all have our own journey, but usually there's a touch point somewhere along the
It
way.
has to tie in together.
Yeah, to make it all work.
Yes.
Okay, let's take a step back in history. Machine shop. Tell me what that
Yes,
is.
that was Tabor and Bushnell, and it was in New Hope,
Okay.
and it was running machines. I
Okay.
ran machines.
Okay.
And that's where my husband came in through a temp service.
We like that temp service now,
Yeah.
definitely. The reason I ask you about that is that women of an age,
Mhm.
we've had a lot of different careers or jobs or
Mhm.
spaces and places that we have inhabited that get us to this point
Right.
where we can be the people who have not other people's, not fixing other people, but we have a little wisdom of life
Mm-hmm.
and say, like you just said earlier, take a deep breath,
Right.
look at the list.
We're there for help.
Check. You can check it off. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
So talk a little bit about, you said that you have 3 children.
Mm-hmm.
And that's CPS, Children and Family Services, came in. Can you, if you're comfortable, wherever you want to
That's
talk
fine.
about that?
Yeah, I was with my kid's father then, and this is my middle son. He had did something that his dad got mad about, and so he whooped him with a belt. Now the strap accidentally, well, he was whooping him with pants on, but the belt buckle accidentally hit him on the face, so it left a mark.
And how old is your?
He was
son?
10 then. Well, he's 40 something now.
he's a little kiddo at that point.
Yep.
Getting.
And the belt buckle hit him in the face. And when he went to school, the school system called child protection because they said we were abusive to him. They kept my son overnight. And my son said, Mom, they kept asking me, do you abuse me? And I told him, no, my mama don't abuse us. She just disciplines us. She don't beat us. And so that's what he just kept telling them. So they treated him to McDonald's and all that, trying to bribe him into saying something that wasn't true. It was
interesting.
Right. And so they brought him back the next day because they took him from school. I didn't even know.
Wow.
Until he didn't come home on the bus.
Oh.
And the school system claimed they didn't know where he was. I said, well, somebody knows where he is. And
somebody's got to know, yeah.
Right. So then they said, well, we'll keep you on like a probation period for 6 months. I said, that's fine because you're not going to find nothing anyway. And so I had 3 kids. My house was already clean. They always had food. So when they would come out, there wouldn't be nothing wrong. So they said, well, 6 months, we'll just sign it off and you're good to go.
Okay. So yours was sort of a Children and Family Services light experience because what was going on wasn't what they assumed.
Right. And
it was,
sometimes that's the case.
Yeah.
But if you get aggressive with them, then they're going to see more into it than it really is. That's why it's best to say, stay calm. If you're not doing anything wrong, you have nothing to worry about.
Right. And then did your husband back off on how he treated the children?
That wasn't my husband.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
My kid's dad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Did he back off on how he treated? Okay, good. Yeah. And this is where you're the father of your children knew a way to discipline children that is one of those historical things where in today's world, I think it probably still happens, but it's not.
They call it child abuse. So.
Yeah, they call it child abuse. And I can't maybe disagree. There's an element of pain that's endured that I don't know if children need to have. I don't know. That's my personal opinion, but I got my life where I was neglected versus given opportunity for, some of the behaviors that I had, so we all grew up differently. And that's the thing. It's so
the thing is we gave them an ultimatum. You can either get the whooping or you can get the punishment. They said, well, the punishment is going to be longer. A whooping is just going to be right now and it's done.
Wow. Okay. They had a choice.
Yeah. So,
wow.
It wasn't like we beat the kids or anything.
Just gave them a little tussle on the tushy or something like that. Yeah. It's just interesting how different families do different things, different cultures do different things, different, modes of correction are there. So it's all a miraculous story that we're sitting here. And imagine, your 3 children are what age now, give or take?
50. No. Stop that. My daughter is 40. Well, she's 45.
Okay.
Then my other son, middle son, is 41. And then, wait a minute, 40, 45, 44, and 40.
Okay. Yeah. So we've got to do math on that.
Yeah. I told them after 18, they keep track of their own age. I don't got time.
So did any of your kids struggle with substance use disorder? I'm curious. Okay. All in one?
All of them. They think it's a part of life, and I'm trying.
Are they still active, or have they been able to find?
Well, they are. My daughter has slowed down. Good. My son has quit drinking.
Good.
And my youngest son, he's doing whatever. So.
Okay. So
they'll find their way.
Well, and imagine as a mom, you're seeing, whoo, Whew, okay. I'm seeing some familiar behaviors.
I gave them to the Lord.
Yeah, and just love them up, right? Just
Mhm.
love them because you gotta love them. And I
Yep,
think,
because they learn from example. So
yeah, and what we need to do is this what I say time and time again when I'm talking to people who are listening to these stories, and you've got 3 children, all sort of at different phases, and different partners are at different phases, and different
mhm,
individuals. Love on them. That is the key. Don't tell them always what to do, because if
right.
we tell people what to do and what
They're
they
gonna do
should do,
opposite.
they're going to do the opposite, right? You know,
Of
so
course.
yeah, because we don't want to be told what to do.
Mm-mm.
And many times that's what people think, that's the messaging that needs to happen. And it's so incomplete. It's so
It
incomplete.
is.
Yes. Okay. So how long have you been in recovery then?
It'll be 20 years in April. The end of April. It'll be
Okay.
20 years.
Wow. That's pretty
So,
amazing.
yeah.
So how do you sustain your recovery? What does that look like today on a day in and day out basis? How do you do that, Lorraine?
Well, I read the Bible.
Okay.
I meditate. I pray,
Hmm.
and being able to help other people in recovery helps me. So, because a lot of people are, and it's like I think that today's society and the drugs that's going on is more powerful than what was back there.
Totally agree.
It is. And so being able to show people that there is a life after in recovery,
Hmm.
and that all things are possible. And
Hmm.
because that's a lot of things, people lose hope.
Yeah.
And they think that recovery is not for me. Recovery is for whoever wants it.
Right.
So being able to just show them that, and that's one of the things I've always wanted to do, is to give hope back to people, encourage people, and let them know that you can. And it doesn't matter how many times you've been to treatment. Find
Mhm.
the right one that's going to stick and that's going to work for you.
Right. And I think that's one of the things that we try to do at Minnesota Recovery Connection is that, like, I want to listen to you. What is it the next step that's going to fit you versus
Mhm.
let's put you into a system. You went
Right.
into treatment a couple of times. It didn't take, but maybe it didn't fit you at the same
Right.
time, right?
Mhm.
And so that's where peer recovery services come in. We come in and we say, tell me more about you.
Mhm.
I want to know who you are, because
Right.
then I can give you the right resources,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And that's where I think the magic is about what we do, and what is it's like one of those pieces. You've got somebody who's using substances. Maybe they meet a Lorraine, and Lorraine says, I just want to give you your hope back.
Mhm.
And then they say, well, I want to go to a treatment. I want to do this. And then you ask, what kind of treatment? What does it look like? What would
Right.
be the best? Inpatient, outpatient, upatient, downpatient. I don't care what kind of patient
Right.
it is. And then they go through that, but then they still have Lorraine in a perfect world to say, man, this really stinks over here. And you're going to be there. Hey, just stick with it. You're right. It does
Mhm.
stink. It's hard.
Mhm.
Nothing about this is easy, folks. Right.
Right.
Yeah. And so then when said person gets out of whatever, it's a treatment or whatever it is, then Lorraine's still there in a
Mhm.
perfect world to
Mhm.
say, how you doing now? How do I instill, what's that word you just said?
Hope.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can continue to do this.
Right. You
And
know what? I have a I have a participant right now.
yeah.
She has been to treatment a long time. And I told her it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You go, because she was ready to give up. I say, no, you just got to find the one that works for you.
Absolutely.
Don't stop. I
Yeah.
said, because you might stop before, and then the next one will be the one that sticks and works with you.
Yeah.
She said, well, thank you. And because of that, I'm not going to give up. I said, that's all you got to do. If you
Oh.
give up on yourself, can nobody help you?
Yeah. And that's what we get to do as peers. I mean, that's a perfect message of what it is. Don't give up on yourself. It's hard. Nobody
Right.
said this was going to be easy. Nobody said it's going to be easy. So what can we do to give you the hope, give you the encouragement, give you the tools that maybe you need
Mhm.
to stick with it?
Right.
You know, because that's the beast, is to stick with it. You know,
Yep.
you're going to come on 20 years. I got 24 years. It's all just a number,
Mhm.
because every day we have to think about, what am I doing today with this journey of recovery?
Right.
And I just had a dream about being part of AA, and I was just what was that about? Wow. It was crazy. So you have been using faith as your journey.
Mhm.
You also have a side hustle that you do. So you've got a side hustle, and then you also work in the
A sober home.
A sober home. So tell people what a sober home, we call it a recovery home, a
Recovery
sober
home.
home. What does that look like? Tell people, because I'm sure there are people who have folks that maybe are in treatment,
Mhm.
and then the next step is to go to a recovery home
Right.
because they
Yep.
need to have that extra
You want
little
that
bump.
environment
Yeah,
of people not
safety.
using and being able to continue the whether it's an IOP or
What?
a IOP,
What does IOP stand for?
intensive outpatient.
There we go. See, the people out there, they don't know our acronym
It's
lingo.
a going forward in your recovery so
Got it.
that you can really develop tools that you need. Because the treatment center, that's the you're in this place, so you're in this place. You're
And
doing
there's
what they're
protected
doing,
box.
right?
Yes.
So when you get out of that,
Yeah.
you have somewhere to go to. That's still a sober environment,
Mhm.
and you can continue your recovery
Yeah.
and pick up some more tools that you need to help in any circumstance, especially with what's going on in the world today.
Yeah.
They need that extra.
They'll hold on to.
Mhm.
So what is your role when you're in that house? What do you do with these individuals?
I do the peer recovery specialist. What I do is we do all kinds of activities. I print off stuff where they help build their self-esteem.
Mm.
What do you do when you get distressed? If you get depression, or if something comes up, you don't know how to handle it. How do you deal with it?
Mm.
Instead of going back to what you know, go forward where you are now. So I
Mm.
print up a lot of stuff that they can read, assignments that they can do. We also work on the 12-step booklet,
Mhm.
where it's the questions, and then they answer the questions according to their life and where they are.
Okay. And then have discussion about it?
Mhm. Yep.
Okay. So there's workbook. Is there creative things too? Like, do you do any kind of like hobbies or arts or crafts or anything?
They have a paper where they can write down things that they like to do. But
Oh,
then I have another paper where it'll give them sober things that they can do.
okay. Okay, cool. And how many people are housed in these recovery homes that you're working with?
5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
She's counting in her. She's
6.
6 people in each
6.
house?
Mhm. I only do one house.
You just do one house. Okay. And it's women, but
Yep.
the organization that you work with has 4 houses. So they're
Yes.
housing upwards of 20 plus folks, give or
Yes.
take.
Yep.
Okay. So this is, it's important for people to understand that if a recovery home comes into your community, because usually these are houses or
Mhm.
apartment buildings,
Mhm.
and they are housing individuals who are on this recovery journey. And sometimes people think, I don't want those people, I'm using air quotes,
Mhm.
in my neighborhood. Well, those people are possibly in the house right next to you. You just
Yes.
don't know what's
You
going
still
on.
know. And it's good to have those people in your neighborhood. So that way, if someone else gets in that situation, then there's a place right here where they can go.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's about building community.
Yes.
And it's one of those things where, when we talk about harm reduction, we talk about safe use sites or places where they distribute harm reduction materials. People always think, I don't want those people. And I'm always like, they're already there,
Right.
folks. They're just in hiding. And so if there are resources
Mhm.
available for people, you even know what's going on. You can say, you're somebody in your life is struggling. You've got a place to go.
Right.
Think about that rather than living in fear, hiding inside, not knowing what to do. Go out and ask.
Right.
Because that's what we do.
Yep.
That's a whole part of what Minnesota Recovery Connection does. Lorraine is like the awesome outreach queen of the world. She's got resources up her, in books and tablets, and you should see our resource desk in front of our office now. Have you seen the big huge table? I mean,
Mhm.
obviously you've seen
Of
it.
course.
I know, of course you have. But I mean, it used to be like maybe 6 or 7 pamphlets. Now we've got like 60 or 70
Mhm.
pamphlets, which means that we are making sure that people see that there's this world of getting better that doesn't
Mhm.
have to look one way.
Right.
And that's where the magic
It's
is.
meeting them where they are.
Exactly. I'm trying to think. So what's your little side hustle? Just tell everybody what it is. What you sell online.
My health and wellness.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
give
it's
a
health
little
and
plug for
wellness.
a little plug for yourself.
Yeah, it's a health and wellness business. It's online, and all the products are plant-based products. I got
Mm.
coffee, I got gummies, I got everything that you can think of.
Gummies that have
Gummies to help your stomach.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
We got to make sure we're talking about the right kind
Oh
of gummies
no, we ain't
here.
talking about them gummies.
No, okay. Just making sure.
No, these are plant-based gummies that help shrink your fat in your stomach.
Oh, okay.
And then we also have hair, skin, and nails that grow your hair, your nails, and get your skin looking all
Like her
young.
skin looks right now.
And all of our products are made by plants.
Okay.
So they're all naturally for your and help your skin, your metabolism, and everything stuff. Like
Okay.
that. I have coffee. My favorite is the coffee.
Oh, okay. My favorite is the coffee. What's the name of the line?
It works.
It works.
Mhm.
Okay. So if anybody's interested in It Works,
Look for Lorraine on Facebook.
look for Lorraine on Facebook. We're about ready to take our second break. I want to thank everybody for listening. Lorraine, it's between your giggle and your enthusiasm about recovery, it's just like magical. So we're going to take our next break. I appreciate you listening. Say your name.
Lorraine Lynch.
There we go. She is part of Minnesota Recovery Connection. She's a coordinator. She's a CPRS. She's all kinds of things at Minnesota Recovery Connection. So when we come back, we're going to find out what Lorraine does else in the world. Thank you for listening at AM 950, the progressive radio station. My name is Katty Frink on Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution. Thank you. See you in a minute.
That I've learned through this year of being alone.
Here's some happy music to keep you going on a Saturday when you're listening to this, if you're listening to it on a Saturday. Hello, all. My name is Katty Frink. I'm your host to Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution here on AM 950. Who's across the table from me?
Lorraine Lynch.
And where do you work?
Minnesota Recovery Connection.
And what do you do there?
I am a certified peer recovery specialist. I also am a recovery project coordinator, and I help women in all walks of life.
Walk through life, right?
Well, they can walk through life, they can run through life, they can jump through life.
Jump through hoops through life, do you through life. I love that. The last week I was talking about what is going on in the Twin Cities area. And I am a white female. Lorraine, how do you identify yourself?
Black.
A Black woman.
Mhm.
And anybody who doesn't look like me, looks possibly more like you, has emotions and feelings around what's going on. And then I sort of intersected that in my conversation last week about recovery. And sometimes when we're challenged with things that are going on around us, from my view, I see that there's communities that are hiding or have fear.
Mhm.
What does that look like to you right now? How are you maybe supporting folks that might not be wanting to like go and get help? Is there anything that you're doing?
Well, most of the people I work with don't really have a problem in that area.
Okay.
And one of the things I do within my own space and time is just pray for the people,
Okay.
because prayer can reach quicker than I can.
Okay.
And if a person is going through something, one of the things I tell them to do is, first of all, let's look for a book or something to read,
Mhm.
because you need something to take your mind off of what's going on, because
Okay.
everything in life is a phase. So we've been going through a lot since 2019
Mm.
to now. So, and even
Phase
before
after phase
that.
after phase after
Yes.
phase. Yes.
And if you constantly look at what's going on, you're going to get caught up in it. I don't watch the news myself, but I
Okay.
always hear about what's going on. But
Right.
I try to not watch news.
Mhm.
And what I do is I listen to the Bible,
Okay.
because that's my relaxation in it all. And I try to just keep people encouraged and uplifted just through conversation, through jokes, or
That beautiful
and
laugh
just,
she
yes,
has.
and just trying to help people to stay in a calm state.
Mm. That is really good, because the young woman that I was out with last night, who also is I'm just going to use the term not white, brown,
Mhm.
and whatever that looks like. And that's similarly what she said. She says, I am in a state of constantly trying to just take it down a notch, just kind of be focused on myself, help who I can help. But first of all, we have to look at ourselves. And she says, I just have to take I can't remember the term she used, kind of take my vibration down, because there's all this going on up here. There's all this going on. And so just don't focus on all of that. You want to know, like you said, you want to know what's going on, but you don't have to know all the details,
Right.
because that just gets overwhelming. Lord knows I overwhelm myself on a regular basis. But how do we just take down that anxiety, that angst, that level of I could go back to use because then I can forget about all this crap that's going on. That would be an escape mechanism at the nth degree. And that's
And
the last thing we
it's
want
still
people
gonna
to.
be there, and then you're gonna be caught into your past.
And then you got the past and the present coming at you.
Coming at you,
Really?
right.
Oh, okay. Whoa. That was the aha moment there. So you're absolutely thank you. That was so you got that past coming at you, but then you got the hardships of the
going on?
present now. Then those collide. And then some people just might want to say, it's too much. And then we have the next step, which would be somebody really potentially either overdosing or somebody who would possibly take their own life.
Right.
Because I know there are people that are just too overwhelmed. Let me rephrase that. I'm sure there are individuals that feel like they just can't keep going on in this state. So I really like the way you just put that. And when we use either faith or spiritual guidance or meditation or whatever those pathways, because that's what we talk about at MRC, is we
Right.
talk about all the pathways that are out there. Lorraine has her very definitive, I have my own ways of doing things. And we want to remember that's super important, right? What are some of the pathways that you give to the women that you're working with at the recovery home? Like, what's come out in conversation, a pathway that's maybe not faith-based, a different thing that they do to
Well, a lot of them read well, a lot of them like watching movies.
Oh,
funny
okay.
movies on TV.
Nice.
And they ain't got to worry about that. But then a lot of them find books that they like to read.
Okay.
So they read books.
Okay. So are they reading like self-help books or just reading?
Some of them read self-help. Some of them just read books.
Okay. Oh, going back to the old school of reading books. Nice.
Yes.
Nice. It's a great way to escape in a healthy way. You read a story and hear how it goes and actually maybe that's another, think about it. If you read a book, it's about a story of a life, and hopefully, well, whatever the outcome is, it's the journey that you're walking through.
Yep.
And maybe it can give you a highlight on the journey that you need to take through. Interesting.
Find a love movie on TV and watch that.
Yeah. And then Sarah Kemp, who has been on the show, y'all know her. She and her Hallmark movies.
I love Hallmark.
Oh, Lord. I just cannot do Hallmark. They're just too predictable. But you're a Hallmarker?
Yes.
Have you talked to Sarah about her Hallmark?
No, I haven't.
Well, then you better talk to Sarah about that. You know Wendy Jones, right? And she's a Hallmark girl too.
Well, see, Hallmark is popular.
Sure. And I tease. I know. And I tease her all the time. And when my former boss, Wendy Jones, I was like, really? But we also like a little, Sarah also likes a little crime drama too. And I'm kind of a crime drama kind of gal too. But whatever your method for kind of getting out of maybe the space that you're in that is too much,
turn off the news.
Well, more importantly, turn off your phone.
Yes, that too.
Because those phones, I mean, if we have another addiction issue going on in the United States and in the world right now, it is that thing. And there's talk that it might end at some point, not in the sense that they're going to go away, but all this stuff that's coming at us might begin to kind of filter away. And I just don't think that's a bad idea at all. There's just too much coming at us.
It is.
So in our last couple of minutes, what would be some wisdom? She's got a couple of coughs there. I know we talk for an hour. We got it going on. In the last couple of minutes, what would be some wisdom that comes from Lorraine Lynch, Lorraine's recovery, that you would give to the greater listening audience? Remember that they are people that might be in recovery, might not be in recovery, might have people that are struggling with substances. What would be your statement to them?
The main thing I would tell them is not to put too much into the things that are going on and take care of yourself. Whatever your self-care is, if you're relaxing in the tub, if you're taking a shower, if you're reading a book, if you're listening to some calm music, something that's going to relax you so that you're not always paying attention to what's going on in the world. I'll tell you, my favorite scripture is 1 Corinthians 5:7. We walk by faith, not by sight, because there's always going to be something going on in the world. And sometimes we got to quit paying attention to a lot of the stuff that's going on and take care of ourselves. Because if we can't take care of ourselves and we have kids, we can't take care of them.
Ah, beautiful. Yeah. And also the other people in our life that we love. If we
Right.
can't take care of ourselves, how are we going to take care of the people that we love? That's a quote that I have in our training for peer recovery specialists. And that is, and I can't remember it. I need to bring it in here and like post it on the wall. You only, essentially, you only have as much as you have. And if you don't have enough, then you don't have anything left for your people that are
Right.
most important in your life.
Yep.
And when you don't have that, then they get the least of you rather than the best of you. And
It's
I think
like
that's
you can't pour from an empty cup.
exactly.
So you got to keep yourself filled up in order to pour.
Be able to give out. Yes.
Mhm.
Well, Lorraine, we're coming down to those last few seconds. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It's just so wonderful to hear another story. So thank you for listening to Redefining Recovery, a Recovery Revolution here on AM 950, the progressive radio station. We will see you, hear you, be around you in the coming weeks. Greatly appreciate everybody who's listening, and have a lovely day. Say goodbye to the people.
Bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.